And his opponent across the ring is the defending champion, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing purple trunks with white and gold trim, hailing from Ohio. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with a record of 20 wins, no losses, 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the undefeated Junior.
Yes, indeedy. Man, what's up with it, family? What's the damn deal, man? This is Junior the Truth, and this is indeed the Punch Junkie Podcast, man. I don't know what episode this is. I don't know the number. Today is October the 30th, 2023. Salute to the family, though, man. Really, truly, genuinely appreciate y'all. You have absolutely no idea, man. If I had a million tongues, I couldn't tell it all, man. This feels so good, man. It feels so good. It feels so natural. It feels so tremendously wonderful to be able to come in here, man, and rock out with the family, man. Man, as promised, man, we're going to be delivering a weekly podcast, man, kind of summing up our thoughts on, current events as well as the current state of the sport of boxing, man, the sport that we do love. You feel me? So, man, this is that. Shout out to the LDBC, man, Lions Den Boxing community. Be sure to go visit the website, join the website, become an official documented member of the family, www.ldbcsports.com. That's www.ldbcsports.com. Yes, man. Also, I am indeed, shout out to the Punch Junkie family, man, the Punch Junkie Network, the last place in the world for real fans of the sweet science, man. Y'all be sure to come check us out, www.punchjunkie.network. PunchJunkie.com will definitely get you there, man. But salute to the entire Punch Junkie brand, man, the entire Punch Junkie franchise. How about that? Salute. www.punchjunkie.com, man, is the hub for all things Punch Junkie. So you can go over there, get there. You can get to the network. You can get to the merch shop. You can get to the Punch Junkie news. You can get to everything, all things Punch Junkie, by just going over to punchjunkie.com. That's www.punchjunkie.com. And that's junkie, spell it Junkie. You feel me? But salute, man. Also salute to our sponsors, which are, of course, the Punch Junkie brand, as well as the Black Gentleman Grooming Company, man. The Black Gentleman Grooming Company, we do have a line of all natural handcrafted grooming products specifically for you. So be sure to come check us out, www.theblackgent.com. That's www.theblackgent.com. You feel me? Currently running the No Shave November. November is 2 days away. Fellas, ladies, you feel me? We're currently running the No Shave November promo. I think it's 20% off all beard and mustache products, man. So come check it out. Man, let's go on and just go ahead on, man, and get straight into it, man. Let's go get straight into it, if you will. I I want to talk about the feature fighter this week. We kind of hit this space in the sport right now where things are, not really stagnant, but there's not a lot of marquee fights, not a lot of marquee matchups right now in the next few weeks, up until I believe it's the end. Is it the end of this month? Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving weekend is when we get the David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade. You feel me? But until then, we just kind of patchwork quilting our way through the sport, if you will. But this week we do have Efe Ajava versus his name is Joseph Goodall. Efe Ajava coming in at 18-1 in the heavyweight division. His one loss coming to, I believe it was Frank Sanchez that he lost to, versus Joseph Goodall, who is 10-1-1. That fight will be taking place in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, on the ESPN network, and it's Saturday evening. Excuse me. Not really a lot to say about the fight. I'm really not familiar with who's on the card as well. But it is boxing. We will be able to watch it. I don't really know. I'm not gonna misspeak. I don't know a lot about Joseph Goodall. I looked at his resume and I didn't see. I saw that his one loss was to a guy that I had absolutely no idea who he was. So I'm not sure. You know what I mean? I don't know if this is how formidable of a foe he is. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna just be real, man. At this point in Efe Ajava's career, I'd like to see him matched in, you know what I'm saying, with some folks. Hell, we just had to, we could get I could go for instance, Ngannou versus Efe Ajava. You understand? Like I could go for that. You know what I mean? But I would like to see, Efe Ajava. We did get the fight versus Frank Sanchez. You know what I mean? And we saw that, the outcome. I thought that was a good fight, of course, on paper, and I thought it was a good fight in general. But I at this point, I'd like to see Efe Ajava in with some more recognizable fighters, even former world champions or whatever the case may be. We did just get Jared Anderson, who's a young up and coming, promising heavyweight prospect from Toledo, Ohio, near and dear to my heart. Salute to Jared Anderson. Salute to his family. Salute to mama. Salute to his pops, the whole team. You understand what I'm saying? Coach Gary, Coach Jerry. Salute to everybody. You know what I mean? But we did get to see him in versus, Charles, Prince Charles Martin, in Toledo, earlier this year. Something like that. Those are the fights I'd like to see Efe Ajava in at this juncture in his career and really truly closing in on a title shot. He is, once again, he's 18-1 at this point, and I think it's really time. It's time. But Efe is fighting this week, man, versus Joseph Goodall. So it is boxing, so we'll get the opportunity to see. And as far as the marquee matchups and things that are going on this week, that's it. You know what I mean? I wish I had more to say, but that's it. It is what it is. This past weekend, we did have O'Shaquie Foster in defending his WBC championship title at, what is he at? He's at 130, and it was versus Eduardo Hernandez. You feel me? And it was O'Shaquie's Foster. It was O'Shaquie's title defense. I think it was his first defense actually of the WBC title. And man, it was a barn burner. You feel me? It was a barn burner. O'Shaquie came in that fight 21-2. And he was in versus Hernandez, who was 34-2. But of his 34 wins, he had 31 knockouts. You feel me? And so this fight, man, it was a barn burner. You know what I mean? It really truly was. It was for all intents and purposes, it was very entertaining. It was a pressure fighter versus a boxer. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I felt like Hernandez was winning the fight, man. You understand what I'm saying? He was applying tremendous amounts of pressure. Really, the fight was the story of two halves. And when I say two halves, it really wasn't two halves. It was really like 3 quarters versus 1 quarter. You feel me? It was like 3 quarters of the fight, Hernandez was in there. He was pressing the action. He was getting busy. You feel me? He was really truly getting busy versus O'Shaquie. He was making the fight pretty much being to his will, and the table started turning. You feel me? When you start talking about round, 10, 11, and 12, the tables really truly started turning. O'Shaquie Foster really started finding tremendous amounts of work from, the southpaw position. In the 11th round, he hurt Hernandez. He hurt him. And at that juncture, going into the 12th, people were saying, hell shit, he need a knockout. You know what I mean? To win this fight, like he need a knockout at this juncture. And he did just that, man. He scored a 12th round knockout, man. He stopped Hernandez in the 12th round. You know what I mean? Hernandez basically was hurt coming in from the 11th. He got caught on the ropes, man, and Shockey just was peppering him, and, hell, the fight ended. It was a tremendous, like I said, it was a tremendous fight. Salute to O'Shaquie Foster. Salute to a lot of those dudes, man. O'Shaquie Foster, my favorite, Prince Albert Bell. You know what I mean? We got to get Prince Albert over on the platform again, but it's a lot of those dudes that, are at that, 130, 126, 130 level. I feel like that is a very exciting division. Has the potential to be very extremely exciting. And I think that it's really, it's really a toss-up. You know what I mean? It's really truly a toss-up between, who's the best. You know what I mean? But salute to O'Shaquie Foster, man, and rallying back and getting that stoppage, man. This past weekend, we also got the fight that pretty much has the whole entire boxing world in a uproar, man. That is Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. This is one of those fights that kind of, is categorized as a clown show. You know what I mean? It was a fight that, was taking place over in Saudi Arabia. And, a lot of people feel it ended in a split decision, a 10-round split decision that was scored for Tyson Fury. A lot of people felt like it was a robbery. They felt like Francis Ngannou won that fight hands down. Francis Ngannou did score a third-round knockdown versus Tyson Fury, which, for that being his very first boxing match, and for Tyson Fury to be the, world heavyweight champion, the lineal heavyweight champion, / the greatest heavyweight champion of an era, all of that stuff. There's no way he was supposed to go in there and look the way that he did versus Francis Ngannou, who was in his first professional fight. You know what I mean? There's always this big emphasis on the differences between MMA fighters, because we do know Francis Ngannou as an MMA heavyweight world champion. But there is a huge difference between MMA fighters and the MMA champions, if you will, and the boxing champions. There's a huge difference in the sport. And we always emphasize that, you know what I mean? And there's no way, because MMA is a different type of striking. It's a different type of boxing, if you will. It's different types of hand strikes. It's not the same as boxing, and boxing is more pure, and the more pure pugilist is going to always win in a boxing match, and so on and so forth. And I felt like Tyson Fury went out there, man, and he made a poor representation of himself, you know what I mean? And he also made a poor representation with regard to that mindset that, people who are in MMA can't come over to the sport of boxing and actually compete. You know what I mean? He made a very poor representation of that. That doesn't bow over well. As far as, the fight itself, I thought it was a close fight. I thought that there was not a tremendous amount of action. You know what I mean? There are, CompuBox numbers that are saying that Tyson Fury landed more punches, which I didn't see it that way. But I felt like it was close with regard to the action in some of those rounds. I thought that you could swing either way. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I I gave Francis Ngannou the majority of the rounds. You know what I mean? I scored, if I'm not mistaken, I think the third round, of course, because he dropped Tyson Fury, the fourth, the seventh, eighth, and ninth, and then the 12th. You feel me? Were the rounds that I scored for him. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 rounds, also with a 10-8 round in there. You know what I mean? So I don't think that there's any way in the world that, you know, with that score, I don't think there's any way in the world that Tyson Fury could have actually won that fight. You feel me? Now, granted, the rounds that I'll tell you for sure, like unequivocally, without any shadow of a doubt, the third round with the drop, I believe it was the 8th and 9th and 12th. You know what I mean? I scored for sure with Ngannou. So even with that being said, so what was that? That's 8, 9, 12, that's 3, and then that's 4, so that's 5 rounds. You know what I mean? In a 10-round fight, that's five of the rounds in a 10-round fight. So that would only leave, you know what I mean, 5 rounds if Ngannou lost all of those other rounds. So that still would be nothing other than a draw. You know what I mean? But that's if you know what I mean? But the fight the way that I felt like it actually went, I thought Ngannou won the fight. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Of course, that wouldn't happen because there needs to be a heavyweight undisputed match, and that does not, even though this was not a title fight, which is another thing, this was not a title fight, which I got to stop, you know, we got to stop listening to, because people were trying to tell me that this was a title fight, and I'm like, no, I don't think this is a title fight. They're like, no, it's a title fight, and I kept saying, well, if this is a title fight, then I felt like everybody that's in the ranking system for the WBC all of the fighters should boycott, they should remove themselves from the ranking system, because ultimately when it's all said and done, what would you be paying fees for if somebody could come in their first professional fight and get a championship title fight? That doesn't make sense. But anyway, I didn't think that the WBC was that corrupt. I was hoping that they weren't. Let me say it that way. I was hopeful. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you know, I was not really one for this fight. I really wasn't. I'm not for, like, if retired fighters or inactive fighters, or, you know, if they want to go over and enter into these crossover fights and all that kind of stuff, I'm all for it. Like, it's, you know, when Ray Mercer, was that Ray Mercer Jr., when Ray Mercer went over and fought, like, I think was that Shamrock? Was it Ken Shamrock he was fighting? I can't remember. But when he went over to UFC or mixed martial MMA and fought, you know, Ken Shamrock, you know, or whatever the case may be, like, that's okay, cool. Like, he was a retired boxer, you know what I mean? And he wanted to go over there and fight and, you know, compete and whatever the case may be, cool. But these modern fighters and modern world champions, like, I feel like there's no way in the world that we should be doing, like, Tyson Fury, why are we not focusing on an undisputed matchup versus Alexander Usyk? Like, that should be the focus. Why are we not focusing on a fight versus Anthony Joshua? You feel me? Hell, a lot of people, you know, act as if they don't want to see it, but a 4th fight versus Wilder. You know, like, there's other things for Tyson Fury to do as a heavyweight world champion, and crossing or having a fight where you're fighting a MMA fighter, MMA world champion in their first boxing match. Like, that's not it. You know what I mean? And so I never really was big on this fight. I didn't do a bunch of coverage of it. I had no intention on really even talking about it, to be honestly speaking. And I had to go back and watch it in its totality because it was a soccer day, you know what I mean? And so I was, you know, like, I really was less than enthused for it. I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not going to pretend. And so here we are, you know what I'm saying? But I can say honestly that man, I just don't really know, you know what I mean? And in the fight, more importantly than, you know, the outcome and whatnot, Tyson Fury actually suffered some cuts. Like, he suffered a cut above his eye, and he got damage done to his left eye. You know what I mean? From this fight. And, you know, Francis Ngannou looked unscathed. But anyway, that's here nor there. And so now a potential fight that would have been in December, based on what everybody was saying, a potential matchup and showdown for the heavyweight undisputed title at, that would have taken place in December, is now going to be pushed back into 2024. You know what I mean? And we also had other fighters, like, let's be clear, we had other fighters who were, who have been holding on for their spots on that card in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? That's the fight that, people have been, or the speculation has been, or the reports have been that, we're going to have Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua on the undercard. And it's going to be like a big heavyweight boxing event, if you will. And so now that's going to be pushed back in. We're looking at closing out the year of 2024 with no more, real big heavyweight fights. You know what I mean? So I just don't, man. But that's just, at the end of the day, that's it. Now, as far as everything that's going on, you know what I mean, with that, and it leads right into the conversation with boxing, because there has been a tremendous amount of outcry from boxing fans, from casual boxing fans, from hardcore boxing fans, and so on and so forth, with regard to the current state of the sport of boxing. And people are saying, like, boxing is dead. Boxing is dead. Boxing is dead. And as a pundit, as a fan, as a pundit, as a person that spends a tremendous amount of my resources and my time and my life covering the sport of boxing, I'm going to say that I don't believe that boxing is dead. However, that life alert is alive and well. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that life alert is alive and well. You know what I mean? The life alert is definitely going off. We've seen dwindling numbers with regard to pay-per-view buys. We've seen, a lot of counter programming with regard to the sport of boxing coming from the UFC specifically. We've seen a lot, man. There's counter programming within the sport of boxing in of itself, which I can't understand. Like, I understand promotional companies not working together to make the big fights because, they have these money horses and they want to continue to the process of maximizing money from those fighters. And I understand not wanting to jeopardize undefeated records and not working together for that. I don't support that, but I at least understand the psychology of it, right? But what I can't really understand is I don't understand these boxing entities and the suits and, these promotional outfits actually purposefully counter programming each other to compete for an already scarce customer base. Like, I don't understand that. You know what I mean? I think if ever there was a reason for them to work together, they should at least work together in that capacity. You feel me? Like, okay, this weekend, you guys are going to have a card this weekend. Okay, we don't want to cut into that because we want more, we want to maximize our viewership as well. You feel me? So if we're maximizing viewership, then you all do what you're going to do that weekend. The following weekend, we're going to follow up with our card. You understand what I'm saying? Like, boxing is at this space now where the powers that be, like, they have to begin to work together. They have absolutely no choice. Showtime is leaving the boxing game. They're leaving. They're exiting the boxing programming. Another one gone. It's the end of an era, and it's very sad, which I kind of have gotten to this space where I don't really want to talk about it much because it's kind of sad, man. You feel me? And at the end of the day, boxing, you have to believe me when I tell you that Showtime boxing, or Showtime leaving the boxing realm and not offering boxing programming, is going to impact viewership on the sport of boxing in totality. They're gonna lose access to a huge marketing, a huge fan base, a huge market share. They're gonna lose it. You feel me? They're going to lose it because let's just be clear, man. Boxing on apps and, all of these apps, you already got, the ESPN app, you got the DAZN app, you got this, you got that. Man, people like to turn on their cable boxes and watch boxing. Like some people still like to turn on. Everybody's not up on the Rokus. Everybody's not up on, the streaming apps. Everybody's not up on, downloading the app, to your Roku or to your smart TV. Everybody's not up on that. Some people still actually have cable boxes. A lot of people who are diehard boxing fans still have cable boxes. A lot of people don't watch a whole bunch of the other fights because you can't get them on the TV regularly. And so I feel like, we have the potential of losing a huge market share in the sport of boxing, man, which is going to cause the popularity to dwindle, which is then going to continue to have negative impacts on the sport of boxing that we lose. They're going to lose a huge amount of the customer base, man. That's just the fact. And so with all of that being said, boxing is, we're not saying it's dead. You feel me? But boxing is definitely on the life alert, man. Like that life alert is going down. You feel it's going off. I've fallen and I can't get up looking at it. Like it's real. You feel me? It is 100% real and 100% authentic, man. That boxing is on life alert, man. And it's the suits are all, to blame. You know what I mean? I'll definitely put some of the blame on the fighters, and I'll definitely put some of the blame on the fans. You know what I mean? Because we are a huge part of it. We are a huge part of the issue, man. You feel me? And man, we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? We'll talk about it. We're a huge part of the issue, man. And it's time for, all of us and everybody in tote to take accountability for what has become of the sport that we love, man. And that's just real. You feel me? Salute to y'all, man. I really, truly, genuinely appreciate y'all. You have absolutely no idea, man, none whatsoever. If I had a million tongues, I couldn't tell it all, man. But this has been the Punch Junkie Podcast. I don't know. I guess I'm supposed to start numbering them, or should I just leave a date? I think I'll leave a date. This is your Punch Junkie Podcast for October the 30th, 2023. Salute to y'all, man. Really, truly, genuinely appreciate it. Shout out to the LDBC, man. Salute to the whole entire Punch Junkie network, man. The whole entire Punch Junkie franchise. Y'all be sure to go pull up on us, www.punchjunkie.com, man. Salute to the Black Gentleman Grooming Company. Y'all be sure to come check us out, man. www.theblackgent.com. This is Junior the Truth signing off, man. I'm Ohio born, player made. If you don't know anything else about me at the end of the day, I got to keep pushing, baby.